Today is December 4th, and we're going to be talking about what's going on with on-ramp into repayment, issues borrowers are having. If you're impacted by this, what can you do? This will be a full video with the various issues. If you are experiencing any of them, I want to provide solutions as well. It's not a doomsday video or anything. And I want to go over some other financial topics outside of student loans that you all would want to hear. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to go over that at the end of the video. If you like this content or a student loan borrower could be helped, please do subscribe. Only 70%. 70% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would greatly help us. And if you like this content, please like it. Okay, so let's go through what is going on. So obviously, I'm going to also create several shorts around some of this content. So if you prefer to watch shorts, you could do that as well. So let's dive in. So obviously, I started going over some of the issues last week as well. But the issues are such that now Congress is basically asking the Department of Ed by December 15th to write up a full report on all the issues student loans borrowers are having. So once that draft gets submitted after December 15th and we get news or press releases around that information, I'll also be reporting on it. But basically, student loan borrowers, these issues are going to lead to some credit reporting, as well as it's going to hit people's credit. So I just want to be very transparent for a lot of borrowers that that's what the anticipated action is going to be. It's not fully known yet because there hasn't been enough time since we've entered repayment. But basically, a lot of borrowers are not receiving the right statements with they're not receiving the right amount of payment on their statements. That's the first thing. Or they're just not receiving statements. And a lot of student loan borrower servicers have been changed, okay? Also, the on-ramp into repayment is supposed to stop wage garnishment for a year, but apparently that system that's supposed to pause wage garnishment has not fully been paused. So they are saying it's being reported to eventually garnish people's wages even ahead of the on-ramp period, which is really strange. I don't know all the mechanics behind that and why that started happening, but some borrowers reported that their wages have been garnished as a result of the default before the pandemic. And that's not supposed to happen. So there's some issues with wage garnishment. And so I'm going to go through the list of things and then I'll talk about solutions after, okay? Of course, there's credit reporting issues. The Department of Ed will need to provide guidance because apparently the servicers are still reporting issues that like if a borrower isn't paying, the credit reporting, the servicers are still reporting to the credit agencies. And the student loan servicers are saying, and we don't control the credit bureau. So even though you've legislated an act that says it shouldn't be reflected on the credit, student loan servicers don't control the credit reporting agencies. So it may perhaps still end up on people's credit, which can hurt them. For example, if your servicer didn't send you a statement on time for your repayment, or that the payment is incorrect, or there's inaccuracies, and your servicer puts you into forbearance, administrative forbearance again because of these inaccuracies, well, this forbearance is still being reported onto the credit and can have negative credit repercussions. And the student loan servicers are saying, well, we do not control the credit reporting agency. So if it's negative credit repercussions, they don't know what should be done about that. So there's a lot of issues between the servicers and the credit reporting agency. So it will unintentionally depress borrowers' credit scores if they enter into forbearance. So if this is you, there are solutions. We'll talk about it again, like I said, at the end of this, or towards the end of this video. I'm going to go through the issues first, and then I'm going to come back to the solutions. And then there's just having a lot of support issues. Consumers are calling their servicer being on hold forever. And Mohila, one of the largest servicers, especially for public service loan forgiveness, failed to send out on-time billing statements to 2.5 million borrowers. That's a huge deal. So if you don't get an on-time billing statement about what your payment's going to be and when it's due, how are you going to pay it on time? So insufficient notice, that's another issue. And the Department of Ed has to release a framework on monitoring the actions of servicers, which I don't know why they didn't do that during the pause, like create a framework to prevent all these issues. But again, I mean, obviously rollout of anything that involves tens of millions of people is going to be chaotic, but there's things that are surprisingly chaotic that if you are impacted by this, let's talk about the solutions now. So the first thing I mentioned, and the biggest thing, if you got an inaccurate payment statement from your servicer, obviously I would say secure message them immediately. You could try calling as well, but if the wait times are long, secure message them. You can literally log into your account and there should be a secure message portal. You should secure message them with details like, this is my payment, this is what my payment should be. In fact, I'd recommend borrowers, if they're on a fully amortized payment, to go ahead into a student loan calculator, just Google it online and calculate the payment themselves based on the interest rate of what they borrowed and calculate the payment themselves to know if there's an inaccuracy, number one. So that's number one. I'd secure message them. If you can call when the traffic slows down, I would recommend that as well. Another issue is if your wages are getting garnished illegally, because that should not be happening, is I would immediately contact your HR payroll provider and let them know that this is happening and that it shouldn't. That's the number one suggestion I would do. I would also, whoever's responsible for the administration of the garnishment, I would also contact them and let them know that your paycheck is being garnished, that the on-ramp into repayment, that this is an error. So that's another solution if you happen to have your wages garnished. If you have any issues with that, although at LoanSense we're not attorneys, we can help give you some information on how to ask the right questions and get to the right people. If this is an issue, of course, we're here. Now, the inaccurate reporting onto the credit, there are several letters and templates that we at LoanSense already have. I would directly liaise with your student loan servicer to correct issues, not just call the credit reporting agencies. I say this because credit reporting agencies tend to stay away from automatically correcting issues with student loans. So I would first try to go through the servicer. But what I did want to say is it is very important if you do have a credit hit all of a sudden, like you're using a credit monitoring app and you have a credit hit and you go in there and you see all these things being reported from your service or inaccurately, I would still pull a free credit report from annualcreditreport.com to see how it's being reported across all the three credit reporting agencies first before just believing a credit monitoring app, right? So I would pull that first and foremost. And then if there are inaccuracies or they're reporting you in forbearance or issues that are going to impact your credit, I would, at LoanSense here, we have templates. We are happy to help you access these templates that should be submitted directly to your student loan servicer. You could still submit these templates direct to the credit bureau as well. Our experience is the majority of corrections happen through the student loan servicer directly though. But with this on-ramp into repayment, things may change. It doesn't hurt to submit it to both the bureaus as well as the student loan servicer. I hope that's super helpful. Again, I will keep you all updated when the Department of Ed provides the framework as well as the update on what's going wrong with the on-ramp into repayment. You'll be hearing from me. Also, I did want to mention, you know, I know several of you have heard my personal story, but I purchased a tiny home and I do house hacking. I rent out several parts of my house I've used that extra income to also purchase additional real estate, to get some passive income. So it's not just the hours worked is the income I receive. If any of these topics are of interest, I've also done a ton of research and setting up my own solo 401k. It's called an individual 401k. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax planner. I want to put it out there, but I can share information about solo 401ks as well for gig workers. If any of those topics are interesting, please comment below and I'm happy to make content around that as well. Again, please do share this information to those with whom it's relevant. Please like, please subscribe. We'll talk soon.